During my time as a flight instructor in flight school, I only trained around 4 women or female students that I had at the time, and they've all gone to join different airlines at this point. But the reason why I'm sharing this is because there's a lot of attention on this particular subject, and this is not new, by the way. If you're in the industry already, you know that there's a lot of drive and focus in increasing the number of women in aviation. And this is why I'm bringing this to this channel, because if you are subscribed to this channel, you're either an aspiring pilot most of the time, looking for opportunities in aviation. And one thing I would say is that I don't think there's a better time to be a woman trying to get into aviation. Now, why am I sharing this, or why am I saying this? A couple of things. I'm going to share this. This is a screenshot I took from one of the websites that I was looking. This is from Capital University. And as you can see, the date, June 28, 2024, title, Why Aren't There More Women in the Aviation Industry? A few things. It says there's significant gender disparity in the aviation industry, particularly among airline pilots, according to a report from the Women in Aviation Board. Women make up less than 20% of the workforce in most aviation occupations, and only 4.6% of air transport pilot jobs. And it goes on to say, and I think this is the important part that really inspired this video, which is the shortage of pilots globally, as well as the many factors attributing to the underrepresentation of women in aviation, has prompted the FAA, major airlines, and educational institutions to focus on increasing gender diversity in the pilot training pipeline. Now, this is something that as somebody that is an aviation enthusiast, somebody that is looking to increase the number of opportunities for other people that are trying to get into the aviation industry so that they can get in. That's why I've made this channel. That's why I've created this channel. That's why I spend the time to share the information that I have and the knowledge that I have through my videos. And my goal is that, whether you're a man, woman, or in between, you are able to use the information that I share on this channel to get yourself the dream job that you want to get, wherever you are. I know that different parts of the world do have different opportunities available, and honestly, I can't help everybody. But whatever I can do, I'll do my part. Now, if you are a woman, okay, and you're trying to get into the aviation industry, what should you be aware of? Well, a couple of things. This is one thing that you should know, and I think it's important to know, okay? And we're going to get into some facts shortly. ICAO's latest global survey on the status of licensed aviation personnel by gender reveals that the participation of women holding positions as pilots, air traffic controllers, and maintenance technicians has increased on an overall basis from 4.5% globally in 2016 to 4.9% in 2021. I mean, that's not a lot. That's a 0.4 difference. The percentage of women pilots in service increased from 3.6% to 4% globally. Not that impressive, all right? And because of that reason, like I already shared with you, a lot of these airlines and even government agencies are trying to increase the accessibility or increase the representation of women in aviation. Now, this is something that I thought is important. This is from Women in Aviation that I wanted to see. As you can see, this is the number of women in the airline transport pilots, okay? And the percentage of them is currently 4.6%. And as you can see, this is at 2020. So not the most recent information, but it's still vital. Now, what are the common reasons? And before I even started looking into this myself, I realized that we generally, from the people that I have interacted with, we know that one of the common barriers into aviation is cost of training. We know that already. And that this affects or impacts everyone, whether you're a woman or man, whatever, or in between. This affects everybody. We also know that the common issue that people experience, all right, in getting aviation is lack of information or knowledge. So, like I said, on this channel, I talk about career programs, scholarship programs, all this, right? Not all these scholarship programs are accessible to everyone. That's one. Then two, just not knowing how to get into those types of programs and what it takes to get into those programs. I've spoken to different people from different regions, and you would realize that a lot of people don't understand what it takes to, for example, get into a program, a career program that I talk about, or get a scholarship. It takes a lot. It's not always easy, but it is possible if you do the hard work. And that's why, again, I have this channel. Now, according to the information from Capital University, a couple of things that it mentioned, and I know it might be a little small. I don't know if you guys can see it well, but I've kind of highlighted some of the important reasons why women, or limitations faced by women in the aviation industry. The first one, it says discrimination can affect hiring practices. That is true. A lot of times I'm sure you've heard and seen in different parts of the world where some people have this bias towards a certain group over the other. And due to that bias, a lot of things can be done. You don't get the job, you don't get the offer, and that's one person down or one woman down from getting into the aviation industry, if that makes sense. So the point here is discrimination is a big part of this issue. And the other part is, it says, aspiring women aviators lack role models. Well, if you don't have enough people representing the group, then what model do you have? None. So this is a common issue, and the only reason for this is the pool of people interested in aviation, honestly, can be quite small. If you choose 10 people right now randomly and you ask them, what do you want to become? Or 10 kids, if I may say. If you ask 10 of them, what do you want to become? Maybe you may not get any of them interested in aviation at all. You may, if you're lucky, you may get one person wanting to be a pilot. And that just shows that the pool is already small. That is, the niche itself is, a lot of people don't have a lot of interest. And that is because, well, it starts with just you just have to have interest in it. Sometimes it's not about being having a role model. Sometimes it's not about having somebody that knows about the aviation industry. Because sometimes, I mean, I know a lot of people, by the way, that their parents are pilots and their kids are not interested in flying at all. And it's not because they don't have somebody to look up to. It's just that they just don't have any interest in that. So the point here is, having no role model, having a small pool of people interested in a career or in that field, that's one problem. But then not being represented by the group that you belong, whether you're black, white, whether you're Hispanic, whatever your race may be, or whatever your gender may be, could also impact this. Next one is flight training can be expensive. I already mentioned that. And the last one, but not least, which I think is a big part, work-life balance also plays a significant role. And I think this is something that even men, even myself and other pilots tend to struggle with, the work-life balance. You have to be able to, maybe you have to commute, maybe you have to worry about long nights, long time, being away during holidays, right? When all your friends and family are home, you have to go flying, you have to go to work. Missing birthdays, holidays, games, things like that. These are all things that can discourage a lot of people from getting into the industry. And if you don't pay attention to that, a lot of times people actually quit, depending on their phase of life, right? People actually quit that job to go find something else to do. So what am I trying to get at? The first thing is, this is an interesting fact, by the way. We have on this channel, okay, in the last 28 days, majority of the people that have been watching my videos, maybe subscribing, checking my videos and all that, says 91.5% are male and 8.5% female. So I think the first thing is raising the awareness, okay? Raising the awareness. And what that means is that letting people know that there's a lot of opportunity in the aviation industry, whether you want to be a flight attendant, a pilot, a gate agent, maintenance person, you want to be an engineer, you want to, whatever that may be, you can be a woman and still do it. And by the way, I hope that this video does somewhat decent for the size of my channel anyway, because I know the typical average views I get. But I hope that this, because the more people watch this video and like and comment, right, the more it gets pushed out. So I hope that people watch this video to this point, because I know I've been talking for a few minutes now. So the point here is raising the awareness is key. Second thing is opening up the opportunities for people. All right. And that is, again, that's why I have this channel, to share this knowledge, the tips and all this stuff, so that more people can gain access. All right. Gain knowledge for free for most part, and be able to use that to secure opportunities in their desired aviation jobs. The next thing is joining organizations that are pushing for this type of things. Okay. In this case, pushing more female representation. And here's something that I want you to know, or the good news is that a lot of airlines are looking to increase their the diversity, okay, or women representation in the pilot group, especially if you want to fly. And sometimes not just pilots, sometimes it's just the whole airline itself. Like I said, the aviation industry already has it. Is under, we already have a limited number of people that are interested in it, but then you have underrepresentation of women. So a lot of airlines are trying to actually increase number of women in different roles, whether it's in the UK, US, Africa, wherever, Asia. And the point here is being a woman gives you a certain, I would say, opportunity. I don't want to call it an advantage, because you still have to be good at what you do, but it gives you an opportunity to be part of those people that will represent and be a role model for the future generation. And last but not least is getting educated in this field. And the only way you get educated is, watching videos like this, reading books, joining organizations like I mentioned. Having a role model will be helpful if you have one. If you don't, then maybe you can become one. It is important to let you know that you have what it takes. You don't have to be a genius, and you don't have to be extremely good at math. You don't have to be extremely good at physics, because these are things that sometimes discourage a lot of people from trying to get into this type of field. I hope this makes sense. I hope you've taken advantage, or you will take advantage, okay, of the information I just shared with you. And I'd love to see you in the next one.